2010 was a defining moment for Kenya. The promulgation of the new constitution ushered a new dawn, a new dispensation, a new birth to Kenya's development agenda. 47 counties were born. The 47 counties were established to enhance equality in resource distribution, bring decision-making and service delivery closer to citizens, and enable the realization of the right to self-determination. The county government consists of two arms: the County Assembly, which exercises the representative, legislative, and oversight authority of the government, and the County Executive, which exercises the execution authority of the county government. Their administrative structure comprises of the sub-county, ward, and village. Appointed municipal boards play a role in the administration of cities and urban areas. 10 years later, we look back to the evolution and revolution of Bomet County. The changes have been gradual, but still significant. New projects came up along the way. Others were absorbed, but retailored to fit. Welcome to Bomet County.
Now, on devolution, we wanted to devolve the issues that affect the ordinary Kenyans. You devolve issues to do with roads, issues to do with health, issues to do with basic education.
And we came into office with a lot of expectation. Of course, some of us, we were eager to move, to roll things up and down, roll our sleeves and serve the people. And in the process there, we encountered some challenges, like every other new system.
We had, I can say, a skeleton staff. The office of the governor was being housed in a former CDF office. It was a very small office, very tiny office. And the entire county government was actually there.
First of all, there was a serious knowledge gap, because most of the governors had no real idea where we were supposed to go, what was to happen. It was only a few, hardly 10, who were in parliament and had participated in the devolution debates.
Being, especially us as the first governors and deputy governors, the biggest challenge was setting up systems first, so that systems could be in place, so that everything could move as per the regulation and the law.
We had to make do with what we had at the time. So we had to, at the initial stages, we had to recruit the Public Service Board, which then was come and recruit everybody else, including ourselves. The common thing that was pushing everybody at that time was a passion to develop their county, the passion to give back to the community. For me, what was driving me was the excitement, the opportunity to create a legislature, a parliament at the village level.
At least we had a critical mass capable of pushing the ideas forward. But in the national government, there was a little reluctance to implement it. There was a definite reluctance, and we had to really push.
Now we actually hit the road running, and the reality now started hitting us. That in fact it's not possible for us to fulfill all the ambitions that we had, because we wanted to provide water for everybody within 5 years. We wanted to have the health facilities to be top of. We wanted even to construct tarmac roads, 50 kilometers per year. So our ambition was to have 250 kilometers of tarmac roads in 5 years. So now, when you now got the real thing now, in terms of resources, the budget around for the allocation of the equitable share, that's now when we got a shock.
Because we had anticipated devolution to take another 3 years from 2013. But for us, we said, no, we can't wait. 3 years. 3 years, then we would go into election before we establish devolution. And then what would happen? We decided, no, we are going to force devolution immediately.
And that's why, I must say, the first governor, Honorable Isaac Ruto, actually, his move to push for Pesa Mashinani was actually informed by that reality that, in fact, we don't have enough resources here. We have some entities that are still at the national level, yet they are performing default functions. So when the reality hits us that we don't have enough money to deliver on health, to deliver on roads, now the solution also the governors to fight for more resources. The expectations were high, very, very high. Everybody expected the county governments to solve all their problems, unemployment issues. We realized we could not employ everybody. We would advertise for one position, and we require somebody to have CPAK. And we would get 500 applications, people with qualified accountants. Now even the numbers are even going higher. First of all, we had that intergovernmental conflict between the county governments and the national government, which was we all know. There's also another conflict between assemblies and the county executive, governors versus speakers, MCS versus governors. And then, so we were fighting. In fact, the biggest war that we had was about the budget. How much should come to the county assembly? How much should remain the county executive?
One other threat to devolution has been the people who are in Senate start fighting governors so that they don't perform, so that they can come and take over after 5 years. That has been a big problem. That has been a big problem. But because they also end up in county governments, that idea will quickly dissipate, that type of posture. And more former governors will start going to the Senate, and they will not come back to the county. So in my view, the Senate will cease to become a threat to the county governments.
Again, subsequently, there are other challenges also. Impeachments. Initially, people were very excited about impeaching. Impeaching a governor, impeaching CC. Like the solution for every conflict at a time seems to be like impeachment. Like somebody was saying, if you look at, and it's a case of nail and hammer, once you have a hammer, then you just have to bang, you have to hammer it. So at that time, the assembly was saying the only tool that they had was to impeach, remove somebody from office. But again, you can see there are now very few of such cases now, because we have also realized that, in fact, there are many other ways of sanctioning any public officer who violates the law. Many other options of actually sanctioning. It doesn't have to be removal of that officer.
Some of us, we were eager to move, to roll things up and down, roll our sleeves and serve the people. And in the process there, we encountered some challenges. Like every other new system, there are challenges you encountered in the process. And the biggest problem we have is, especially for the deputy governors, their role is not very well spelled out. They're not specific. Personally, if I'm asked what can be done, I would say please assign roles to the deputy governors, or let the deputy governors not be running mate, be appointees of the governor, so that they appoint people they can work with. As a running mate, you also come with your constituents.
There are direct and indirect impacts of devolution. Among the direct impacts that you can actually see in Bomet Town is that we now have a number of offices and services that used to be offered at the provincial headquarters. Our provincial headquarters in Nakuru, they were brought to the county level. So we do have, for example, the county commander of police. That level of officer could not be found at the county level in 2012, because he's way above the superintendent of police. That used to be the senior most in the county. Now we have somebody at the level of assistant inspector general being at the county level. We have judges of, we have a judge of the High Court who is based in Bomet. We do have many other agencies. We even have a DPP. We have AG's office. We have a lot of government offices that would not have been found at the county at that time. They could only be found in Nakuru or Nairobi, even in some instances. We are only one distant hotel at that time in 2012. Now we have more than 5 that are actually, I can say, probably the level of 3-star hotels. More than 5 very good hotels that can proudly actually host any visitor in this county. That is the result of devolution. It could not have been any other ways, because of the fact that we do have people who are now operating at the county level, and they require the services of the hospitality industry. They require the services of the financial sector.
Devolution has made a big difference and should be there to stay. In my opinion, it has made a lot of difference. But there is room for a lot of improvement, especially in terms of management of resources.
Now, we have a situation now where decisions are being made in Bomet. If there is a problem in Longisa Hospital, for example, the decision makers are just 15 kilometers away. And they are also residents. They are the ones who are asked questions by the residents. Even though we know that we may not have done very well, we know that we are still accountable because of the fact that every time we wake up in the morning, there are people who are waiting for you at your gate.
Bomet County is significant in its agricultural prowess. It is the home of dairy farming. The county boasts of the largest tea cover in Kenya. The combination of favorite climate, altitude, and fertile soils have made Bomet County a prime location for tea cultivation. The county's emphasis on agriculture, including other crops like coffee, maize, avocado, and dairy farming, underscores its significance as an agricultural hub within Kenya. Bomet County boasts of great healthcare, education, cultural and tourist attractions. Bomet County is bordered by 4 counties, namely Kericho to the north, Nyamira to the west, Narok to the south, and Nakuru to the northeast, covering an area of 2,037.4 kilometers squared. The county is the source of major rivers such as Mara, which flow into Lake Victoria. The population of Bomet County was estimated to be 922,888 in 2018 and was projected to reach 974,085 and 28,130 in 2020 and 2022, respectively, growing at an estimated population growth of 2.7%. The rapid population growth exerts pressure of the existing infrastructure and provision of basic services in the county. Bomet County is divided into 5 sub-counties, 25 wards, 66 locations, 117 sub-locations, and 1,977 villages. Devolution has opened up Bomet County as an agricultural hub. The county is vibrant in agricultural sector with a keen focus on tea, coffee, maize, avocado, and dairy farming.
We are also in the process of mapping all the farmers. This will inform even our planning in terms of, like now, if you ask me how many packs of fertilizer we require for planting maize or beans, I may not be able to do that now. But if we can have up to date information supplied through these CIFs who are working with the community in our database, at a click of a button, I will be able to tell you we have this number of farmers planting beans this season, and this is the total acreage based on the calculation of the experts and probably the sampling of our soils. This is what we require in terms of fertilizer. So that would not have been possible were it not for devolution, because somebody seated in Nairobi will not find that information going all the way to the villages. We also have multinationals that are working with us, especially in the tea sector, and of course they've been generating a lot of income for the country. We have been having our own complaints, just as neighbors will always have, in terms of employment, the issues to do with mechanization, which I want to say we cannot run away from it. We take our children to school to learn and innovate. And part of the innovations that we have is provide solution for us in what we want to use in terms of machines for our farms and so forth. Agriculture is the way to go if we want to develop as a country, and we are now diversifying away from maize because we have been having challenges going to avocado, mangoes, bananas, and even beans. We are making investment in Jebunyo dairy, and very soon we'll be packaging. Of course, we have equipment that has been supplied, but this was majorly for fresh milk. But I don't want to venture into fresh milk now, because a risky business. When you are coming new in the business, you need to establish yourself. And we want to have long life milk being packaged in Jebunyo. And of course, the long life milk will be supplied to our ECDs, will be the first customers and so forth, before we move to the fresh milk business, which may take us maybe months or even a year or two, so that once we are established in the market, then the exposure in terms of risks will be lower for our farmers. We have in the Raweta a facility that will be processing potatoes. We are almost done with the construction, and we will also be procuring for equipment for that facility. We have Lelachi that is now fully functional, and we will be officially launching that facility where we have the production of bread by use of sweet potato flour and so forth, and so many other flagship projects that we have within the county. With the support of the infrastructure that we have been able to put in place, roads and so forth.
Infrastructure has greatly changed since the inception of devolution a decade ago. The county has seen improvements in road networks connecting previously remote areas and facilitating transportation.
I think devolution has changed infrastructure. People are now able to move in villages. The roads have been done. Even though you find some still having challenges, there's been the road network must have multiplied a number of times.
And facilitation to access market means you are able to move your products from the farm, the animal products or crops, all the way to the market. So one thing that has been demotivating our farmers is poor roads network. So we have been able to improve on that. We have opened up new roads. Even yesterday, there is a 5-kilometer road that was opening. The first time to have a touch of a machine opening a road in that area. So, which is a very clear evidence that devolution has actually worked for all of us. It has worked for our farmers, and creating that road network, even responding to emergencies and so forth, has been very swift. And I'm happy that we have been able to do that.
Now, wards and sub-counties are well connected. The development has greatly contributed to accessibility and economic growth.
We have constructed a number of bridges, and big ones for that matter. We have Mingichi Bridge. We also have this one in Konoin, Muriaisi Bridge, and so many other small bridges that we have, connecting wards, connecting sub-counties and so forth. So as part of making sure that we are interlinked in some way, because we have to do business or our goods have to move from one region to another. So that is one success of devolution, because when we were under the centralized government, I think the government was only focusing on the main roads, but the feeder roads that goes all the way to the farms were neglected. So I'm happy that we are now able to map those areas that were initially, they were feeling a bit marginalized. They are now opened, and in fact, even properties have gone up.
With devolution, the county boasts of enhanced tourist attractions, including scenic landscape, waterfalls, cultural sites, and tea tourism. These landscapes provide opportunities for hiking, photography, and enjoying the natural beauty of the county. Amongst the population destinations are Cheptalal and Iria Minor waterfalls, which offer a scenic and refreshing spot for nature enthusiasts. Others include the Mugeni Cultural Center and much more. Bomet County hosts several educational institutions, including colleges and universities. These institutions play a vital role in providing education and contribution to the development of human capital in the county.
Initially, before devolution, I think education for the young children was something that was neglected. Either they were being supported by the local authorities or the church and then all the communities.
Kongeten kingelwech mbaret kokiroboiboenji. Kikobwa lagok cha alak kototomot koba sukul amun kimakolo sukul en ireu.
So kinam devolution konam kotesak lagok. Kikochanga kabisa mau en tai.
Zamani watoto wapo walikuwa wanaenda Emitiot. Wengine wanaenda hata mpaka Longisa na wengine Chepkrip. Kwa hivyo wakati shule ilikuwa mbali kwa wanafunzi, serikali ya county ikanunulia shamba. Baada ya kununua shamba, ikajenga sasa ile darasa. Na ndio maana hapa ikawa dispersal ya Emitiot, kwa sababu watoto wengi wapo wako Emitiot. Baada ya kumaliza masomo yao ya chekechea hapa, wanaelekea Emitiot katika grade ya kwanza na kuendelea.
Atinye somalinik 27. Amun en PP1 atinye 11 pupils. Atinye 11. Ko en PP2 atinye 16. Make total of 27.
We also require quality teachers in terms of people who have been trained and so forth. So with the advent of devolution and this function being assigned to the county governments, we have registered a lot of progress. First of all, in ensuring that we have quality teachers availed for our young learners, because that is very important. Foundation in education is very important.
Zamani walimu wa chekechea hawakuwa wanaajiriwa. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru siku hizi wameajiriwa na serikali za ukatuzi. Hiyo ndio furaha yetu na tunaona kama ni maendeleo.
Kiwone kabisa torete kikosire kabisa. Yani imwoe kongoi en gavana kabisa. Kiwai kinu.
Fact studies have shown that what you do to the young children will have effects on the subsequent levels of education and may contribute to success or failure in the subsequent levels. So a good foundation has been shown and proven that it improves on the successes on the subsequent levels of education. And that is why we are investing a lot of money in that.
Kongoi kabisa amun sukulini kora ko kinekitit en ireu ukele miten kwenet en ireu. Ki Emitiot ko kilo, Longisa ko lo, Chepkrip ko lo. Ko kingonyo ireu keker kele kaire kabisa lagok kochanga en ireu. Kimwoe kongoi.
And then the issue of infrastructure, we have also been able to improve. I'm happy as Bomet, we have constructed quite a number of ECT centers, supply them with water tanks and very nice toilets, and then of course in a very nice and conducive environment.
Ako kiketwek kora toilet che kororon. Kiboiboenjini kabisa sukulini ketinye boiboiyet neo kabisa. Amwa ane ko sigindet nebo sukulini ak sigik alak chetaman ketuye kemwoe kabisa tuguk chemiach akobo sukulini. Kongoi en class nekiketekwech akiboiboenjini kabisa.
Hivi vita ambavyo wanakalia vilinunuliwa na county government ya Barchok. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana. Pia tuko na tangi ya maji. Kwa hivyo wametufanyia mengi na tunafaa kuwashukuru kabisa. Tunamshukuru governor kwa sababu yale kazi nzuri amefanya.
When you visit our primary schools, those iconic buildings in our primary schools are actually ECD centers, and personally I'm proud of that, and that is one of the traits of devolution.
Devolution has enhanced the quality and delivery of education services from ECD to TVET and higher education.
ECD can never also be complete without the nutrition aspect. As Bomet, I'm happy that we are among the leading counties that have been able to take care of the nutritional needs of our learners. So we supply milk to our ECD centers, which is also very important because physical development and has some relationship with the mental development of the child, because when you don't supply correct nutrients and adequate nutrients, development of the brain is actually impeded in some way.
Ko atinye lakwenyu nemingin nekikonyorout nekikobaibait akine kotko nabaro taranyon kaamde ngoi komamoe kabisa kotebi angamun en boiboiyet neo nekere ngalekab chego.
Chechu ko kikonech county ako kingokakobwa chechu keker walet en lagok kitestai kobwa kabisa sukul nemekomi absenteeism ako testai konyor afya neotokerchinigei en betutab rani.
Kaikai nebo inguni en taa kabisa ko kiui kasit kabisa amun inguni ot en komosta nebo chego ko kiboiboitu lagok akonam lagok kokuiyot en kokwet bwone lagok en chongindo kabisa.
We have been able to increase enrollment in our schools and retention of these learners in schools, which is one of the targets that we have as a country. And in a small way, as Bomet, I think we are doing very, very well. We are looking forward to having even more support from our partners and friends in matters ensuring that the environment where these learners are learning is clean, they're supplied with water and whatever they need so that they can be retained in the school.
Bursaries and scholarships are a great source of joy for many parents and students. Much more is offered now and shared equally.
The national government has been championing for 100% transition, but it is not enough to champion for 100% transition. It's also important to have 100% retention and completion. And one of the challenges that have been facing our schools, particularly secondary schools, is the issue of payment of school fees. Because as much as the national government is talking of subsidized or free secondary school, there are other expenses that we need to cover as parents. And you understand the hardship that our people is having in terms of the economy. And we have also put interventions in place. These include provision of bursaries and even scholarships.
Kikose kora kimwa kongo kora akote secondary. Secondary ko kikenyoru bursary, full scholarship, kimwa kongoi kabisa. Kimwa kongoi en tuguk chechang chekikeker. Kikeboiboenchi kabisa tuguk chechang en county government. Kimwa kongoi kabisa.
For our case in Bomet, we have 10 scholarship per ward. We have 25 wards, which means every year we sponsor 250 students under full scholarship, running for the 4 years, meaning at one go we pay fees in full for 1,000 students running from Form 1 to Form 4. And I'm happy that the success this investment has been worth, because over 99% of these students whom we are sponsoring have been able to transit to the university. With the advent of Devolution, we are able to do a lot of facelifting, at least so that they can have a face. Because, you know, initially, I think the way it was painted is like these institutions were actually meant for failures, which is not the case. In fact, opportunities now are in terms of vocational skills that we normally acquire through those institutions. People who have skills and can employ themselves. If you have been trained to be a carpenter, an electrician, mason, and so forth. And these are services that we require for life.
Unaweka nyuki, alafu ile kitu yenye unafanya tu kenye ni expensive ni hiyo ununue beef. sasa una provide accommodation actually kwa beehive, kwa nini, kwa nyuki. Ndio sasa ile mapato yake honey ndio sasa ni kama rent. Youths wengi wamemaliza shule na mambo na agribusiness ndio inalipa. At least kitambo wapata employment wakuwa wamembariwa waanze mambo na agribusiness. Upate mkulima amepata mapato mzuri, lazima beehive nayo ikwe of standard. Okay, vocational training pia hao watu watrainiwe wakuwe na hiyo passion, wapende hiyo course yao. Juu sasa akitengeneza kitu standard pia market itakuwa.
We are also focusing in having centers of excellence for different areas, like you have mentioned the issue of the uniform that we launched recently. Our center where they made those uniforms is Seaward.
Bomet County has a network of healthcare facilities that cater to the health needs of its population. These facilities range from hospitals to health centers and dispensaries, providing various levels of medical care.
Currently, and the objective that we have as a county is to have dispensaries in all the sub-locations. And I'm happy to report that we have made a lot of progress. I think we are 80% done with that. Something that would not have happened were we to have the headquarters of the government being in Nairobi.
At the moment, we have over 143 health facilities in the county government. Pre-devolution, we had around 10. So there's been a monumental increase in the health facilities. Number one, for Longisa County Referral Hospital, and before devolution, pre-devolution, we used to run a maximum of 4 clinics. But after devolution, from the advent to the moment, we are running up to 12 clinics. That is, the 4 clinics have increased 3-fold.
So in summary, we have an approximate of 406 cadres working at our hospital, different cadres working in our hospitals. These cadres are from the highest level of the subspecialist to the lowest level, and we work together as a team.
The last decade of devolution opened more opportunities for growth in health sector with the setup of modern and state-of-the-art health facilities in the county.
When you come to our referral hospitals, the kind of equipments that we have, dialysis machines, we have 13 of them. I think we must be among the leading government hospitals because 13 active dialysis machines. And this is an investment that was done by the county government of Bomet. In fact, as we are speaking, we don't have any backlog. We normally do our services, carry out our services between Monday and Friday.
Currently, we have a total number of patients is 24, and we're offering like 50 sessions in a week. That is around 200 in a month.
Longisa Referral Hospital iko karibu na nyumbani. Sasa huwa sichoki sana, alafu matumizi ya pesa pia imeenda chini. Alafu ukilinganisha ukiwa karibu na mahali unafanyiwa ama unasaidiwa na vile mtu anatembea mbali, basi ule mtu ambaye anaenda mbali anakuwa na unyonge mara mingi. Lakini ukiwa unafanyiwa ama unasaidiwa karibu na nyumbani, basi unapata kuwa na nguvu, unajiendelea kimaisha, unajisaidia na kuwasaidia wengine na kutumikia pengine nchi kama mwananchi mzalendo wengine.
And that is a clear indication that this investment has borne fruits, and even people are being referred from other counties to come to our facilities.
Well, we have an ICU service that we recently introduced, and this ICU services has been supported by the presence of an oxygen plant, which is operational 24 hours, 7 days a week. We also have the liquid oxygen cylinder, that has been of great support. We received the liquid oxygen cylinders that has really supported the running of the ICU.
We also have in Longisa, just to mention, we have oxygen generator that produces 9,000 liters of oxygen per hour. That's a very high volume because it's excess. In fact, I was mentioning to somebody that generator can generate oxygen for the entire Kenyatta National Hospital, which is a level 6, with a surplus of 1,000 centimeters cube every hour. So that is a very huge investment that we have made as a county.
IC also needs support from the lab, which you have expanded the services from the initial routine to now more specialized and more advanced lab tests, including the blood gas analysis, the tumor markers, the cardiac markers. And also, these services has been supported by the radiological unit that has the CT scan that is working and has been very timely in terms of getting the reports and helping the doctors make decisions and also timely interventions. Particularly in my area of specialization, we do around 600 deliveries, both the normal deliveries and the cesarean sections. And we have the capacity, our capacity have actually, the bed capacity has always been occupied more than 100%. So we'll always have patients almost sharing because of the space.
We are also in the process of constructing Mother and Child Wellness Center. This is a 200 bed capacity facility, not very far from Longisa, which will also be equipped, and not only in terms of the equipment that we require, but even in terms of the human resource.
And we are happy that soon we'll have that new maternity and child hospital that will be able to help decongest our main hospital.
It will serve the people of Bomet and even the neighboring counties, because we also service them. That's Narok, even Nakuru and part of Kisii, which to us we are happy because we are delivering services to the people of the Republic of Kenya.
I'll give very specific clinics that are now running pre-devolution that speaks to that. Number one, the eye clinic or the eye hospital was started its operation in the year 2016. That was after devolution. The renal unit started we started that clinic in 2018. That is after devolution. We have the radiology unit, the CT scan, the OBG, the ultrasounds, the X-rays, all that. That started running in the year 2015. That is after devolution. And the increased services in the lab were increased after devolution. We have the section of the ambulances. You know, that plays a very critical area. Before devolution, we had some funny Nissans and what we call the basic ambulances. But with the advent of devolution, currently we have 4 advanced ambulances, which are maintained locally by the county government of Bomet.
One of such developments is the chemotherapy unit in Longisa County Referral Hospital. Now, Bomet residents can get quality and free healthcare that is close to them.
We have an approximately 200 patients that we see in a month, with 50 of them on chemotherapy. On those on chemotherapy, we also do palliative care, which we plan for home visits twice a week. So we visit these patients and we give them hope that there's life that they can enjoy as they stay around. At the moment, we are able to get medical supplies on time with the support of the county government. And we have come from far in terms of making sure that the stockouts are low, and we have minimized in such a way that right now it's very difficult to find a drug missing from the shelf for more than a week or so. And we have been able to see that in terms of the outcomes of our patient care.
We also serve in terms of the limited number of specialists that we have in the country, and we have to be innovative enough to find ways of maneuvering and making sure that we maximize on the use of the services that are actually available from these specialists that we have trained, and probably they are seated in Nairobi or Eldoret or even outside the country.
One currently working machine which has been fully employed in our day-to-day functioning in the hospital, and there are 3 others. And this partnership is between the county and them, the WTI.
Which is actually a donation, a machine that was donated by our friends from California, who have also been supporting. They didn't just donate, but they have been equipping our staff, medical staff, with skills.
We were privileged as Longisa County Referral Hospital to be the first facility around, actually in sub-Saharan Africa, to be able to use this machine. This robot, which is a virtual consultant. We call it virtual consultant because we are able to see the patient in their presence and real time.
Through this machine, one can be able to do ward rounds, examine patients, advise when we need referrals, so you can be referred to a doctor while you are on your bed in Longisa.
This technology has assisted us even better in terms of reaching some of the majorly subspecialized units. Like we can see a cardiologist directly doing rounds with us. We can see a nephrologist. We can see a pediatric dermatologist, not just a dermatologist. We can see majorly subspecialized units around the world.
So it has made our referral easy and decisions making to be faster. On top of what I had mentioned, that our people are being equipped, they are being upskilled in terms of their practice in their respective areas of specialization.
Of note is, it is not just America that we are partnering with. We have doctors from Europe, we have others from India. Remember, in terms of cost, if you are to send this patient to India, most often it will be costly affair. In both terms of assessing that care and also the logistics of even getting there and seeing that consultant. And for us, we are able to see the consultant. The consultant is able to see the patient and advise, and sometimes go to an extent of advising us on where to get the medication. We have so far seen around 154 patients through this machine.
Traveling or even making referrals can also be very expensive if we have to evacuate a patient from Bomet all the way to Eldoret or to Nairobi, or sometimes even outside the country. So we can bring the doctor to our facilities through this technology. And as Bomet, we are planning to have at least one equipment in every sub-county. We have 5 sub-counties. So in each of the sub-county hospitals, we are planning to have already there. I think we have 2 that have been supplied. When you require a referral, probably from Cheptalal to Longisa, you need not to transport that patient to Longisa. Let the specialists that we have in Longisa examine the patient, make decision whether it would be necessary to evacuate that patient from Cheptalal all the way to Longisa or to another facility within the country or even outside the country. So personally, I'm happy because we are championing this and we are leading, showing the way to the rest of our counties and hospitals within the country.
There is a feedback in different categories when it comes to health issues. There is the engagement between us and the patients, and then there is the engagement between us and the bosses. So if in the pre-devolution time, if that engagement was to be meaningful, and then we had to travel all the way to get the Minister of Health in Nairobi, Avia House, so that he can schedule some few minutes for a team from Bomet. But after devolution, what we are able to do is we have always continuous engagement with our clients. But apart from that, I think this year alone, the medical workforce of the county government of Bomet have been able to have a meaningful engagement with Professor Hilary Parchuk, the governor of Bomet, I think more than 4 times, where the medical workforce gives their views on how best we can improve the health services in Bomet, and they are given that response like instant.
There are other operations that we do on a general basis, on a daycare basis, that they come, they are performed, and then they go home. These services have been expanding, and recently we have been able to do eye surgeries on a more comprehensive manner. We received equipment that has really helped our ophthalmologists to perform very, very advanced surgeries on cataracts, surgeries, lid surgeries, glaucoma, and all these other diseases of the eye. And we are encouraging people to come and utilize the services that are now available at our hospital, especially on the area of the eye hospital.
An African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The journey of devolution in Bomet County has been an incredible journey of working with like-minded friends and partners.
As a county government, we have partners that have supported us. I want to single out a few of them. Red Cross, we have World Vision, we have Nutritional International. DIGDIP is another institution that has been working majorly in Sotik and partly in Bomet East.
We usually do rainwater harvesting for the community, and in sanitation we do community-led total sanitation. We also do school sanitation, that's constructing toilet for the schools, and also we can also assist the community to ensure that the environment is clean by ensuring that they have the toilet within their home.
Red Cross has been very supportive in the area of health and the area of water and environment. There are programs that we are running with Red Cross. We have Jabanga Water Project. We have irrigation scheme that is running in Jebalungu. Through PIDP program, we've been able to register a lot of success in that. They've been able to fundraise, and through our added voices, county government, they have also been able to secure funding.
We are very happy with Bomet County. Bomet County have really assisted. We have worked together very well. And I want to thank the governor, because I think last year, on July, we signed a memorandum of understanding where we work together. We used to do on our own, but we found that when we work on our own, we are unable. We declared under ANABO's award ODF, which means open defecation free, where every family gets an access to a toilet. And this one, we are only 4 staffs, but this is 190 villages. We couldn't be able to do alone. But when we work with the county, because the county have structures, they have the PHOs, they have CHAS, and they have CHVs. So when we work with them, they really work very well, because it reaches the community level, it reaches also the village managers. So this is where we can work very well.
The only thing that we are doing as a county is we want a coordinated kind of partnership. So one is to minimize on wastage of resources, because we don't want duplication. We don't want you investing in health in a village and then somebody else coming investing in the same, or investing in water, another organization come and invest in water. In the same area, yet we have needy areas maybe that requires water or even intervention in terms of health.
So when you are working with the county, you are able to inform some other, or you can make decisions very well together. And you can be able now to put the resources. One person to bring this other resource amount of money, and the other one brings amount of money. So from that time, you can be able to work together.
Aboiboenjini kabisa boisionik chepkondok amun nguni kokokeyat koliton kokararanit kabisa. Ini tangit inimach iun ot kirait neboisien. komiten dangi, komi beek. Mokisereti beek, korichu tugul ko kororon. Imach iboisie iun okot logoek kiunchin chito sikwome. Ngole chito achicha amache kiunwon kiunchin.
Kitinye kelchin amun ngirurukok ketinye kelchin amun bwone biik tugul konyokwolisie en market orit.
Now we are celebrating the 10 years of devolution. And of course, we have listed successes and milestones that we've been able to mark. What will we'll be celebrating in the next 5 years? What will be celebrating in the next 10 years? We need to put structures in place, and we have to ensure continuity. One challenge that we've been having as a country, and specifically I want to single out counties, is one administration comes and goes. The following cycle of election, we have a new administration, and we want to forget the foundation that was laid by your predecessor. You want to start your own and build your legacy. I think it is very important to understand that the legacy that we've built is not your legacy. It is the legacy of the people of Bomet. And that is why it will be good. And personally, even projects that were initiated by my predecessor have been able to complete some of them, and we are in the process of completing others. But it is also very important to have a very clear vision of where we want to take this county. Public service should be and must be apolitical. They should not lean to any administration. And that is the only way we can ensure continuity, because once I exit the office, somebody else will be coming, and the people who will be having institutional memory at the public service will be left to run the programs.
Can we ask ourselves whether we are giving value? And that's the question I'll also ask everybody else who works in the county government. Will our absence be felt if we are scrapped, if the constitution was changed today and scrap the county assemblies? Will anybody feel our absence? It is a question that should weigh everybody. Everybody should be asking themselves every morning when they come to work.
I'm optimistic that we'll be having something to celebrate next year and subsequent years, and for the life of Bomet County, God willing.